Hi there, and welcome back to Jediism 101, where we are discussing what it takes, from my school's point of view, to be a Jedi realist in today's time. And as explained in earlier videos, that a Jedi realist is a person who looks to the philosophies and practices of the Jedi from the Star Wars universe created by George Lucas, from the films, the books, the TV series, and the comics. Yeah, the movies only honestly scratch the surface of it. See the set of books behind me? Tons of information as well as some fun fiction learning. This is all Legends Now continuity since Disney took over, but you can learn through fiction. In fact, it's one of the lessons that I usually gave to prospective, um, uh, um, excuse me, um, try not to use the Padawan word, but my apprentices. There we go. Is to read a work of fiction and give me 10 lessons that you learn from from that work of fiction, because you can learn by reading almost anything, and hopefully it's a takeaway that you honestly understand and can actually fit into your life. But we, at this current moment, have been discussing the 16 basic teachings of the Jedi, and we are up to number 8. So, teaching number 8 is Jedi understand that physical training is as important as training the mind and the spirit. We understand that all aspects of training are necessary to maintain the Jedi way of life and to perform the duties of a Jedi. So, in earlier videos, not related to my Jediism 101 content, I explained the nature of balancing the three selves, and that's the physical self, the mental self, and the spiritual self. The physical self, obviously, is maintaining a healthy body. You work out, you have decent cardio, you are watching kind of what you eat, you're doing things to make sure that you are not the peak, not always at peak performance level, but you can try to go for above average. It honestly doesn't take much more these days to be above average as far as physical health goes. So many people nowadays are riddled to their desks, or riddled, are chained to their desk jobs, and they don't get out as much. And with my current employment status, what I have been loving in the morning is getting out and going for a walk daily. And not just any walk, but I'm doing 3-4 miles in a nature preserve. This is really working on my physical self. It's getting me out in nature. I'm breathing fresh air. It's awesome. I get home. I'm looking at my dietary restrictions. I've cut out a lot of salt. I have for years now. Including more vegetables in my diet. I eat fruit on a daily basis, and a good healthy sense of protein. And I'm also trying to cut back on my sugar intake in the effort to lose weight, which is harder as we get older. But other physical training, I mean, you can do anything for physical training. Uh, go to the gym, go for a walk, do cardio, watch jazzercise if you're old enough to know what jazzercise is. Um, if you practice any type of martial art, actually martial arts is a great way of getting a full body benefit, because it pretty much uses every muscle, tendon, and reflex you have, once depending on what level you're doing. Um, I grew up doing Taekwondo when I was 9 years old. That's a long time ago. But you do your basics: kicks, blocks, punches, stances. Then you move up to doing forms, which are a set of different techniques wrapped together to form a cohesive circle. Um, Depending on which movie series you look at in Star Wars, you see them often practicing kata, which are, for their lightsabers, and which is a set of moves to teach the young Jedi how to maneuver and manipulate their lightsaber in combat. And there are also physical forms of that as well, where they can do this all unarmed. A lightsaber does not make a Jedi. It is part of a Jedi. The weapon is an extension of the Jedi himself. And remember, when you unsheath or ignite a weapon, don't think of what you're killing, think of what you're allowing to live. There are two sides to this coin. But getting back to physical health, and as I said before, there's three selves. The physical self is important, but it's not always the most important. It has to be balanced with the mental self and the spiritual self. We've talked about the spiritual self. This goes by meditation and calming your emotions and thinking and cultivating serenity. The mental self, that's honestly a pretty easy one too. Go learn something. Go read a book. This is where there is no ignorance. There is knowledge. Remember that line of the code we talked about a few videos back? Go watch a documentary. Go read a book. I honestly, it's been a while since I've actually done a lot of reading for pleasure and for learning. But I do know that I absorb virtual media faster than anybody else I know. So if it's a documentary or it's a video I can learn something that I have an interest in, I can pretty much almost get it down. Now, of course, the opposite side of just learning it is also putting it into practice. So into the physical self here, now I understand that people have physical limitations. Now I'm looking down the emitter of 50 next year. Yeah, I'm getting up there. But at the same time, I know that if I want to be contending with a bunch of 20-somethings in tournament, that I can't let my physical self go too far. So it's, morning stretches. It's making sure everything, is working correctly. It's taking my vitamins. It's taking, eating my protein, getting my vegetables in, keep the macros. The macros are the important thing, and of course, like I said, a full body workout in one way, shape, or form. Calisthenics will do it. You can do a lot with that. Actually, if you have to go to a gym, buy some free weights. Heck, there are programs out there online and the internet that are absolutely free to download, and they are all body weight exercises. The stuff you can learn just by doing squats, planks, push-ups, jumping jacks, all that kind of stuff, and more. Awesome. Heck, there's free yoga programs on there. I used to do one. It was called Yoga with Adriene, and then go on YouTube and look her up. She has tons of material. And anybody who's brand new at yoga or an expert can learn it. So, in order to perform our duties, Jedi need to look at their physical self. We understand this, and this is what we have to work on. And honestly, it's one of the selves that I need to work on the most. So, with that, I'm going to leave you here with it. Now, please do make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Ask me a question. I will be free to answer. I've been starting to get comments lately. Thank you all for helping me grow. And I will read every comment, and I will either react to it or I will answer it if it is a question. Doesn't matter what the question. If it's a general Star Wars question like question like I had yesterday, feel free and ask it. I am a super Star Wars geek, and if I don't know it, I can look it up and I can tell you my opinion on it. All right? So till then, I want you to make sure that you get active. That's the key for this particular lesson. Also, make sure you drink water. Hydration is important. Get some healthy sun while you're at it. Eat healthy. That's what we need to do. But also now go out there and practice your spiritual self. Be kind to the animals. Be kind to the environment. Be kind to other people that you meet today, and always be kind to yourself. Because you only got the one self to work with, and you need to make sure it's strong and healthy, both mentally, physically, and of course spiritually. Until the next video, my friends, you have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.